And we're going to take that live view from Bryce Canyon. You see how gorgeous it is in central Utah, but let's jump down to south central Utah, where we have just a little bit of cloud cover. Pretty conditions today, really overall. Decreasing moisture, a drier setup out there as that camera kind of shows off Ruby's Inn rolling through Bryce Canyon. Above average warmth, we're sitting in the mid 80s here. It doesn't feel bad on the water, I'll tell you that, but I know that we've really cranked temperatures in the north. Satellite radar has some fairly quiet conditions, a little bit of cloud cover moving through in the west desert. Overall, drier setup. And we're going to see that as this ridge of high pressure gains control heading into the weekend. There have been some changes with the weather models. I'm going to get into that. This is what it looked like down there in St. George, Ivins area. It's our Black Desert Sky Cam. That time lapse shows a few clouds sneaking through, but triple digits. For the second day in Ivins, first day in St. George. You see all that sunshine. How can you not? It's 102 right now in St. George. In the Wasatch Front area, we've got upper 80s, but we're going for 90. Salt Lake sitting at 89. We still have peak heating ahead of us. The 90s have arrived in Moab and along the I-15 corridor. Typically this time of year, 78 is our average high. We're going to decrease the numbers as we head into tonight with mostly clear skies expected. And we're going to see those numbers falling into eventually the 70s by ABC4 News at 10. Dry conditions as we're heading into our Saturday. Did I say happy Friday? Gosh, I meant to. I hope you're having a good weekend. We've got record potential for the weekend with the heat, expecting mid-90s along the Wasatch Front both Saturday and Sunday. Looks like we could break that record heading into Sunday, but potential is there tomorrow. Winds will increase slightly on Sunday ahead of some changes. Let's talk about those changes. Our storm threat, notice it stays to eastern Utah and southern Utah as we roll into our Saturday and Sunday. The newest model runs are taking the moisture in the storm system we've talked about this week a little further east. Now with all weather models in alignment, expecting that moisture to stay towards that area. Something to be aware of as we head out. We anticipate Monday for that wet weather. As we take a look at the futurecast here, you're able to kind of bubble on through. Possibility in the southern half of the state on Sunday of some thunderstorms. They're going to roll through. We've got some moisture rolling in, and you see how the futurecast keeps a lot of that into southern Utah. Surge of moisture into southern Utah, central Utah, and the eastern side of the state. As we head into Monday, we're expecting storms, just isolated potential now for the Wasatch Front because of the track of that system. So pulling a little further to the east, which means the Wasatch Front won't see the widespread storms initially expected. We'll see isolated activity. There's that ridge of high pressure. Upper level futurecast walks us through the heat that we are feeling, the low to the south of us, as we're going to grab some possibly tropical remnants there and bring that into the Beehive State. We displace that high pressure and we allow for the low to move in with unsettled conditions and significantly cooler temperatures. If you don't get a storm, okay, but you will notice the drop in daytime highs. That's coming as well. This is the time of year we're getting into monsoon season, and we'll talk more about that. As we take a look at those numbers for tomorrow, going mid-90s, low to mid-90s along the Wasatch Front. Another day with the triple digits in St. George. We've got 80s and 90s with lots of sunshine on the eastern side of the state. Next 7 days in Washington County changes. This is where we're going to see that wet weather. The storms come in, triple digits drop into the mid-90s, eventually the 80s. The winds will pick up and cooler air arrives with the chance of isolated to scattered thunderstorms in southern Utah. The Wasatch Front, the 7-day here, representing the latest models, forewarning you that will be unsettled. You will know